You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, it's good, homie.
Yo, it's Halloween week, FYI. So I'm gonna throw this out to you now. We didn't talk off the air about this, but
I came in hot tonight, people. That's why we're a couple minutes late. You'll have to excuse me.
Yeah. So it's Halloween week, Mike. If you were to dress up as one bowler, professional bowler, if you were to be one professional bowler, who would you be and why? And previous, past, as a costume.
Man, that's a great question.
I mean, the obvious answer is Kyle Troop, right? But we don't. Let's stay away from.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's funny that you go there. I didn't go there. My mind didn't go there at all. My mind went to. You know what my mind went back to when you asked me that? It's just so crazy. This is how like deep into the bowling thing I am. It went back to that $1 million millionaires club, $1 million earnings club poster from back in the day that was in like every pro shop. You know what I'm talking about? It had the green background and it had Weber on there and everything, right? So I thought about that poster for some reason, and I have to say the person I would probably dress up as for Halloween bowler would be Wayne Webb. Wayne Webb, and here's why: because you got the good hair. Okay, that's easy. You go out, you get the wig. He sort of had his own funky style at one point with the big collars and everything, right? And then he also, if you watched A League of Ordinary Gentlemen, did the karaoke. So you could actually do the karaoke thing on the side too. And yeah, I'd probably do Wayne Webb. How about you?
Well, I thought about going as Tim Buck this week. You know, he's not a bowler, but I was gonna dress up as Tim Buck. I was gonna put on like the hair and the mustache and like the aviator sunglasses, and I was just gonna walk around banning people for looking at me the wrong way. I'd be like, "Yo, you're banned. You're banned. Yo, you're banned." But really, like professional bowler that I would want to dress up like, it would probably be Dave the Instrument. Yo, I get like
that's a good one. That's a good one. The wrist guard, you can have the wrist guard. Yeah,
yo, a drink in my hand at all times. Like,
I didn't know. Was he a big drinker?
Oh, well, I don't know what he's doing, and I don't want to offend him because he
passed away. He passed away.
Oh,
Rob,
did he? Oh, yeah. Then I don't really want to. Oh, yeah,
he passed away. All right. We'll skip over that.
Dave the Instrument. Yeah, man.
R.I.P. Dave the Instrument. Yeah.
Yo, I grew up watching that guy, man. He was awesome, dude. He was a great bowler.
He like dominated for a short stretch. Like for a season.
Ernie Schlegel.
I
can't believe it.
So Ernie Schlegel came to my mind. I just think Wayne Webb's a little bit funkier. You know what I'm saying? Wayne Webb has a little bit more
free
of that
house
funk.
Free house hack. We got a free.
Free everybody.
Why,
free everybody.
Why?
All right, let's talk about it. We both got banned. I got double banned, even on the burner from the USBC message boards. So Tim Buck must have somebody looking out on Twitter, because when I put the picture up on Twitter of the burner account, he must have looked at the icon of the burner, and he must have put one and two together and kicked me off. So
for sure. Let me tell you something, okay? For sure, okay. Now I have sources, Mike. Right? Like I have sources all over the place. We have
sources all over the
place. Okay. There's a snitch.
Wait, if Tim Buck thinks he's shutting us down because we're not on the boards, please, Tim Buck, you underestimate us, dog. We got people all over the place. But go ahead, Rob.
I'm gonna look at the camera. Tim Buck, we're coming for you. We are coming for you. Okay, in a digital way. Okay, I don't want to get in trouble. In an online type way. Okay. But we are coming for you and the USBC message boards, okay? This is war. But let me tell you something, okay? I have sources, Mike, all over the bowling world, okay? There's a snitch, okay? It's Sweep the Rack. Somebody who watches the show or was listening to the show, and then, passed on whatever it was to Tim Buck. Because as well as I do, Tim Buck ain't fucking listening to the show, okay? You know that as well as I do, okay? He's better things to do on the USBC message boards, right?
Monitor the clown show of the USBC Facebook discussion board, yes.
I got plans. I'm like freaking like one of those guys where I'll be 3 steps ahead of you on your message boards, okay? I got you covered. It's going to be fun. We're going to war. We're putting on the helmet. We're strapping the boots. You fucked with the wrong people, my man. You shouldn't have banned me. You banned Mike twice. This is it, man.
Honestly, it's comical. That discussion board is such a shithole. It's such a shithole, and that's saying something for the internet. So, like, it's a mess over there. Like these internet board people, these group admin people. The power goes to their head when the numbers go up on these boards. It's ridiculous. The best way to deal with it is just leave the board, and we may even start our own thing, perhaps. So we're looking at that. We're also, we've never done merch, Rob, up to this point. We've never done merch.
Yes.
But Tim Buck may have pushed us. He may have pushed us to the point. What do you guys think in the chat? What do you think in the chat? A little merch around this?
Yeah,
you want to do a little T-shirt to rock, a little inside joke T-shirt that we could all rock, that everybody would know what the deal is. I don't know. Might be coming down the pike. We'll see. So Tim Buck, keep your eyes peeled. Whoever the rat is, whatever. You need more.
You need to get a wife. Time. You need to get a wife, man.
John Stevenson says admin merch. I like that, John. I like that, John. I like that a lot. You're on the right path there, John.
Yo, man, but like the craziest thing about the whole thing is the fact that he was banning people that just knew me. That knew me. Like that didn't even like post anything or like anything or laugh at anything. He was going and literally deleting people from the board that knew me because he must have been so
crazy, yo.
He must have been so heated. Yo, he must have been so heated.
He went on a rampage. He went on a banning rampage.
That he just started banning people left and right for no reason. And dude, you're a dictator, my man. You are a dictator. You are taking your power and you are using it for the wrong. Sweep the Rack is going to use our power for the right because we're for the people and we're coming after the USBC Discussion Forum boards. Spread the word, people. We're coming and we're coming hard, bro. What'd you say, Mike, on your great interview with Fef about if you're coming for the king, or what is that? You're coming for the crown?
You come for the king, you best not miss.
You best not miss.
They say.
Well, he missed. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Stay tuned for some merch. And stay tuned.
Admin merch.
Yo, if you're on the message board right now, stay in the message board because you guys are in for a real treat and a real entertainment because it is coming down. It is coming down hard. That's all I'm going to say about that, Mike.
All right, so we move on. Well, until we move on until worst of the week. We move on until worst of the week. We'll come back to some of that in worst of the week, I think.
100%.
All right, League night last night.
Oh yeah, I thought we were gonna skip your league. Yo, let me tell you, people.
I should skip the league
First
review.
off, I thought Mike was gonna miss tonight's show and no show because of the fact where he's doing his league review. Okay, so Mike,
did you really think I was gonna no show because I bold bag? Come on, man.
I thought you were gonna come back.
You know me better than that.
I was waiting for an appearance from the House Bowler. I'm not sure where he went.
Yeah, mysterious.
All right, Mike, give it to us. Let's hear it. What happened last night?
470. 470 for 3. I'll give you my games. Hold on. I'll give you my games if you want.
Hold on. I'm kicking Mike off the show. Hold on. Wait, I'm removing him. Yo, I removed Mike off the show. Yo, we can't have anybody co-hosting with me that shoots 470 every week. Yo, all of the people, you want to be a co-host of Sleep the Rack? Come on the show, man. Get me the application. VideoRob11@gmail. All right, you're back.
47, 61, 66.
Oh, yo, at least you got better.
Yo. All right, so A little backstory.
Let's be serious.
You want to hear something? We want to hear the worst part. Yeah. I did not miss a makeable spare, and I actually made one split, and still shot that bad. So that goes to show you how little I struck throughout the night. So we'll
talk a little bit about what the conversation we had last night.
Yeah, little backstory here. And listen. I say it every week. If you think I stink, if you think it's that easy, go try it yourself and tell me how you do. Tell me how it comes
they're hard,
out,
man.
You know?
They're hard. Just from what you were telling me, they're hard.
So the center that I bowl in, okay.
Nico, we'll get to that. We're going to talk.
Yeah, we're going to get to that, Nico. We got that on our list for sure. The center that I bowl at, I bowled there over the summer in the house league, right? And I talked a little bit about that on the podcast. And the machine, their lane machine, had been malfunctioning, okay? So word was they were going to get a new Kegel machine at some point, right? Well, a couple weeks ago, the new Kegel machine shows up. The word then became that they were waiting for someone to come from Kegel to program it, get it working, get it running, and then they were going to take it over from there. Well, we walk into the center on Tuesday night, and word is the new machine is in use now. The plan was for us to actually put out the patterns, practice on them, get a chance to see, perhaps what the differences were between the two machines. So walk into the center last night, they're like, new machine. So I start with the ball that I used the last time on this pattern. I actually went front 7 with the last game on this pattern. And it's just, I cannot keep it right at the head pin. So I'm like, okay, clearly I can't use that ball. Yeah, really, it was just it was like other weeks where I don't have a clear idea of how to play them or what to do or what ball to use. It just kind of becomes a guessing game. It becomes a guessing game of using this ball or that ball. Maybe I get lucky for a few frames and get lined up with something, and then that goes away pretty quickly, and then I'm on to something else. So, yeah, it was not a good night. Not a good night for me. Frustrating night. Very frustrating night, actually.
Okay, so here's the thing: is look, we talked last night for a little bit about this. Now, my recommendation to you is just you telling me the bowling balls you were bringing in and what the shot looks like. Next week you're bowling on the long pattern, correct? But you don't know how much. Do you know how much volume they're putting out on the long pattern? Because that's gonna tell you a lot.
I could look it up. It's pretty tight. They're pretty tight.
Okay. My whole thing is, I the way you were explaining it to me, I want you to try more surface on your equipment. If you have to put your ball at 1,000 or even 500, I know my brother's in chat, and my brother could vouch, Dave, that Dave has most of his success bowling on the tough patterns, especially the short patterns, using like a 500 or 1,000 and something smooth. I feel like your stuff is too aggressive. So I want you to at least, next time you're bowling on something that's shorter, flatter, just use more surface on your equipment. I think your ball speed is too high, and you're just using too much aggressive stuff. Because look, like if you're going through the nose, and this is a good point or tip for people listening. If your ball's going through the nose and you're splitting every time you go through the nose, and if you're missing right and you're leaving 2 8-10s, and you're not leaving 2 pins and 3 6s, and it means your ball is way too like skid snappy or way too aggressive. That you need to figure out a way to control the back of the lane, and try something with surface. Try maybe even go to something like a 2-inch pin. Urethane. We talked. You're gonna have to be more on top of the gutter to use urethane, but. Just some piece of advice, man. I would try it and see what happens. Get back to us, and I guarantee you won't shoot 470 if you're trying to use something like 1,000 or 500.
Yeah, I want to ask you 2 questions that relate to my recent league experiences as well. I'm going to keep it as general as I can here.
Sorry, good to see you,
Rob. How do you feel? What are your thoughts? And people in the chat, feel free to comment as well. What are your thoughts on? How do I even want to phrase this? Let me say. What would your thought be if someone you were bowling with on a team, when you cross over or someone else on your team crosses over, they slap it out and cheer? What would your thought be on that?
If it was a competitive league in a competitive environment, I wouldn't like it at all. If it's a fun league and it's like, some Vegas league or something in that nature, I don't
vacation
really
league or something.
Yeah, I don't care because I know the type of bowlers that I'm bowling with. But if I'm bowling in a competitive scratch league or a competitive even handicap league where like there's a lot of money at stake, or even any competitive league, right, where there's great bowlers bowling, and I'm thinking more tournament wise, if I'm bowling with them, I wouldn't care. But if I'm bowling a match against them, and they clap out of Brooklyn against me, they better be ready for the heat because I'm bringing the heat. The real strikes is going to get yelled, and it's going to get yelled really loud. The old school traditional real strikes, baby, real strikes. Clap this out, clap this out. But yeah, I'm not going to be a fan of it if I'm bowling against them. If I'm bowling with them, even, I mean, yeah, like that's kind of that's like amateur. That's a rookie maneuver, in my opinion.
My second question would be, might be even a two-part question here.
100%, Robert. I agree. 100%.
Have you ever needed someone on your team to tell you what the situation is in a game? And if someone on your team did do that regularly to you, what would your reaction to that be? Like, in other words, if somebody during the game was constantly reminding you, like, hey, we're down by 30, we're down by 40, we need this spare, you need to get more than 9 on this shot to win the game.
I am aware of everything that's going on when I'm bowling a tournament or league at every frame, every aspect.
Isn't that an assumption almost?
Yes, especially if you're a legit, scratch bowler, in league, in a tournament, everything that's going on because it affects how you make decisions on your like shots. And I am not going to switch balls in the middle of a tournament,
right?
Or
in the 10th frame of a league game,
right?
If you need a spare to win this game, right? Or I know what totals are after 2 games.
I know
so
everything.
So if I'm going up in the 10th and I know totals are close, I know that. I'm aware of that. Like,
because there's decisions that are being made, and I'm not talking about sandbagging people because
the mental approach. You're right. Yeah.
Dude, here's a good example, right? Like if I'm bowling a match and I need, a strike, and I need a double and 2 pins to win, and I double, dude, that last bill shot, I'm going to switch balls if it's a, best of 5, or if it's a tournament where maybe I want to look for another reaction further down. Like those are decisions you make based on the situation. But if you need a double and 9, you're not going to switch balls, right? Because you need that 9. League is the same thing, right? Like I don't need someone telling me every frame I'm up by 30, I'm down by 30, you need a double. Like, dude, I'm throwing every shot as best as I can, regardless if I'm down 30, down 100, up 70, right?
That's my other point. Like, the situation in many instances is irrelevant. I'm still up there trying to make my best shot and strike, right? Like, I don't know.
Matt, would surprise me if you were banned, bro. Like, I can't see anything on the chat. If you can't see it in your groups, bro, you're banned. And
he
commenting.
This wacko, Tim Buck, he probably went back and looked at who's in the comments of our episodes and probably banned everybody who comments on our episodes.
100.
Right.
Let us know, people. Let us know if you're still able to access the USBC Discussion Forum. Just go into Facebook, go to your groups, type it in. If you can't see it, you're not.
Yeah, it's not in the search, then you're banned.
It's not in the search.
And listen, burners are real easy, people. Just create a Gmail and you can create a new Facebook and get back in there. And when you do, tell them who sent you. Tell them who sent you.
Tell them who's hot.
Come on, we got to make an effort here, people. We can't just let somebody push us over like this. But Rob, listen, so my frustration level super high. Super high, obviously, not bowling good, struggling. Can't forget. You want to know the yeah, true. You want to know the craziest thing about it last night? So I went to practice last Friday and I bowled really good. I threw it really good. I was ultra confident coming in last night. And then when they said that they used the new machine, I threw a couple shots and the ball that I had been using wasn't working. So I went to another ball, which I thought, okay, from what I brought in, this is probably what is going to give me the best look. As soon as I got warmed up, first 2 shots with that ball, dead flush. Okay, in practice, first 2 shots I threw with that ball, dead flush. And then from there, it just went downhill. Like, either I didn't throw it the same way, or they changed just a little bit to where it was no good any longer. But yeah, very frustrating night. I'm very frustrated with my bowling. But I do it as a hobby, so it's not something that I'm going to let really get to me all that much. But I would like to start bowling better for sure.
Honestly, dude, it feels like you're just in today's day, in today's game, you don't need to throw the ball physically at 100% to score. On those sports shots, it really what it comes down to. And Barry Asher would kill me if he was watching the show right now, because he used to hate when I used to say this. Sounds like you're just not matching up with your equipment, honestly, because when you have the right ball in your hand, you don't need to throw the ball 100% to score on a sports shot. I mean, the whole idea of a sports shot is to be able to find the ball that you can make the most physical mistakes and still score well, or not leave splits.
Yeah, right? and play the right part of the lane as well, obviously, right? That's important too. So, I'm going to keep at it. I can't even believe I'm going to say this. I actually might go out and bowl a tournament this weekend. So I don't know.
Well, dude.
We'll see.
League is league, but tournaments is different.
Yeah, it's Halloween weekend, so I don't know if I'll be able to make it. But if I can find a way to finagle it, there are 2 events on Sport Patterns this weekend. Shout to Bowlage and shout to Greg Tack. Yeah. A lot of urethanes. All right, we'll move on from my league review. Right, we'll keep it moving here. You want to talk? I mean, you want to talk about the urethanes a little bit more? Urethane. I know you're not happy about that, Rob.
Yo, it's just the start of it. Like, this is just the start of it. Of course, the bowling ball companies are gonna latch onto the urethane, because look, that's what people are buying. The bowling ball companies are out to get your money, people. They're businesses, okay? I tweeted this out, and a lot of people gave me shit when I did, is the fact where these bowling balls that they're coming out, these new releases, are the same freaking bowling balls they have in their plants. They just put a new cover, a new core, they mix it up, they rebrand it, they put on a new color, and they market it completely different, and they sell it as a high-performance new release, okay? That being said, the urethanes, right? That's the it right now. That's the thing. Everybody's drilling urethanes. They want urethanes. Those prices for the urethane balls, I guarantee you, they're slowly increasing, right?
You took the thought right out of my head. Yeah, that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see these new urethane balls coming out that are marketed in some way that the price is higher on them. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and then so look, these new releases that come out now really ask yourself this question, people. Okay, and I really want you to ask yourself this question. Have the bowling balls and the performance of these new releases that come out every 6 months or 3 months, are they really any different than the new releases that came out 5 years ago, even 10 years ago? The scores are still high. They're always going to be high. The balls aren't reacting differently in the last 10 years. Now, once in a while, there is a ball. Once in a while, there does come out with a ball that changes. And definitely,
it's a home run, right? Yeah,
like a purple hammer is a good example, right?
Yeah, an all-timer, a high road,
right?
Yeah.
But reality, these companies are taking old technology and they're just mixing, matching. They're putting new colors and new promos and new marketing, and they're selling you the same shit over again. Everybody says the best ball ever because that's the marketing of it, people. I gotta have the new this. I gotta have the new that. It's all a marketing.
John Stevenson in the chat saying everyone says best ball ever, got to have it in your bag. Yeah, a lot of patch pirates out there.
Look, if all of a sudden, if I saw everybody averaging 240 and 250, right, or even 260, I'd say, wow, the balls are really getting good. Like, you can't miss. But look, the averages 5 years ago were at 230 and 220 in the house shot, or 215 or whatever it is, right? 5 years later, has the technology really increased from the bowling balls from where they were? That's my point. My point is they haven't, okay? You could still drill up a ball 5 years ago, a blank, and probably still average and have a great look on your house shot. So anyway, that being said,
so then, well, I want to ask this question now that you brought that up. So why then is there still such a strong demand, I guess, or why is there still such a strong market for bowling balls? If what you're saying is true, then you would think that there wouldn't be that strong of a market for bowling balls, right? Is it because the general bowling public doesn't recognize what you're saying?
Everybody wants the new thing. Okay. If you're out, look, I'm not a marketing genius I'm not even in a marketing field, but think about like the iPhone, okay, or an iPad. Dude, they come out with a new iPhone every year, and the iPhone, yes, it has some news. The camera is always better and the battery is always better, right? But in reality, how much different is the iPhone 11 compared to the iPhone 12? Like, it's really not that big of a difference. Yes, there are some technical features that are better. Bowling balls, though, dude, everybody just wants the new, like, they want to walk into their league with that new ball that just released, and they want to be like, look what I just got. I just got the new, so forth.
Okay, even if that ball sucks and they're using that ball at the expense of using a ball that they really have a good look with and have a lot of success with.
Yeah, it's called new ballitis. Everybody's had new ballitis. I've had new ballitis. You just drilled up a ball, right? You go to league, you pull it out of your bag, and you're making sure everybody around you is watching you while you put that ball on the rack, okay? You want everybody to see this new ball you just drilled that nobody has yet on the rack. And then you get up and you go and practice. 10 minutes, you haven't thrown one strike, okay? Guess what? You're still using it. Because you know why? Because you have new ballitis, okay? That's what it's always been called. Everybody has had new ballitis. You have a ball in your bag you know is going to strike, but you got to throw that new ball you just drilled from the pro shop, even though it sucks. Okay?
I hope everybody who's listening to just the audio of this knows that as Rob is talking and as I'm asking these questions, I have a big smile on my face and I'm just on the verge of laughter. So don't take my questions here too seriously. Rob, do you remember? You just made me think of something. You just brought me back. Do you remember the Hallidays?
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes.
Do you remember John and Mark Halliday?
Mark and John, of course.
Oh my God! Shout to John and Mark Halliday. I hope this gets back to them somehow. Shout to John and Mark Halliday.
How many balls did they? Oh,
yeah. For those of you who did not have the pleasure of bowling JBTs in the mid to late '90s, John and Mark Halliday were two brothers from New Jersey who bowled JBTs, and they both had. I don't want to go crazy here and really exaggerate. They both had one 4-stack donkey roller. Do you guys remember the donkey rollers that had like cases, time, right? The cases that the cases that you would stack the two balls in, right? They each had one of those. And Rob, I don't know if I'm like exaggerating here, but I think they had a third that they shared. That like they both had 4 balls on a third one. And Rob, am I lying that every weekend these guys would show up to the JBT with whatever brand new bowling balls had come out at that time? They would be showing up with those bowling balls. Am I lying or am I telling the truth?
No, they always had the same ball. They always had the same like 12 balls with them each. And they literally they were decent bowlers too. They weren't bad bowlers, but they literally every ball they had did the exact same thing. They would just play 10, and it didn't matter what the shot was, what the ball they were throwing. They played 10-5, and if it was there, it was there. If not, they took their 70 bowling balls, they packed it in, hopefully a V10 car, and put it all in their trunk, and they went away. And you know what? They were nice kids, and they weren't very friendly, but they had 100 bowling balls anyway.
Okay, so back to the conversation about the balls and whatnot. I just want to make a point about what the reason for this is, right? Because I asked you, and we obviously heard your response. I thought it was really good. I think it's the bowling community that's to blame at large. Like the bowling ball companies. I mean, it's their job to sell people bowling balls, but at the same time, as we've talked about on here before, I think that it's gotten a little bit out of control. With the constant pushing of the balls, and like somebody mentioned in the chat, the constant boast of these new balls coming out when, in reality, people might be better off throwing something that's older, that has worked for them, drilling a second edition of a ball that they really liked, right? Getting a brand new one, fresh surface, etc. I'll also say this, Rob, and Pete, maybe this is like a little conspiracy theorist of me to say, but I'm going to throw it out there because I really do feel this way. When we were younger, I felt like the bowling balls lasted much longer than they do today. Like not only in terms of not cracking, but I'm also talking about like the reaction of the ball. Like the reaction of the ball lasted longer than it does now, and I'm sure there could be various reasons for that. More softer, right? Surfaces, more oil on the lane, probably getting into the surface of the ball, etc. But yeah, I don't know. Like, especially as in the last, I'd say 5-10 years, I feel like, you throw these balls for 80, 100 games and they kind of lose their pop.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't deal with a lot of crack balls back when like high performance like first came out. I mean, you dealt with every once in a while, like a rare occasion where your ball would crack in your bag.
Mostly it would be bridges, right?
Yeah, I've seen balls crack on walls, blank balls in pro shops that literally would they'd come in the morning and the ball was cracked on the wall of the pro shop. But yeah, I think it has to do with just the covers being more volatile these days. And someone explained this to me who knows what they're talking about, where like the bowling ball surface, the cells are always moving. They're always changing because they're performance balls. They're like, these cells are always changing and moving and changing and moving. And then you put them in the right circumstance and they crack because that's the way it is. Like, I feel bad. Imagine if you were a kid these days and you managed to get a bowling ball for your birthday, which is how I would get a new bowling ball. And like a month later it cracks. I mean, it would be like completely devastating, especially if the ball like was a good ball. But let me say this, back to your point. In my old and wiser age, Mike, how I pick what I choose to drill these days, or when I was bowling, was based on the success that people had with the bowling ball. It was very rare that I would drill a new release unless it was given for me free, that I wasn't sure that this ball was a pretty good ball. And what I mean by that is like, watching a lot of bowling, flow bowling, you go to league, go to tournaments, all of a sudden you start seeing a common denominator where a lot of people are throwing the same ball a lot. And a good example of that is the Roto Grip Zen. The Global 900 Zen. Okay, excuse me. Everybody was throwing the Zen. All the pros were throwing it. Everybody around me was throwing it. After 6-8 months, you ask people and you figure it out. Wow, that's a ball I probably must have in my bag. Now, and if you watch enough bowling and you're around it enough, the good balls compared to the ones that are bad, right? So I feel like that's what people start needing to do, is start like really paying attention to what everybody around them is throwing, and the pros more than your league, like people in your league. Pay attention to what a lot of the pros are throwing, in qualifying, not on TV. Okay, right. Qualifying, match play, and you could get a good gauge of the really good balls that are being made compared to the just new releases that is a must-have. And you drill it, and you pay the money, and then it ends up not being a good ball.
Talk about JBT legends, Sean Wyatt. We just talked about John and Mark Halliday.
I saw Sean Wyatt last week when I went to SVSU.
Oh, really? Okay. What's up, Sean? Yeah. What's going on? I did. We just talked about John and Mark Halliday, Sean Wyatt. I know that'll blow your mind. Yeah. All right, Rob, we're going to move on, yes?
Yes, we got some PBA scheduled to talk. We got some PWBA action.
All right, let's talk PWBA action. Let's talk PWBA action.
Bowl of the year is like locked.
Stephanie Zavala.
What a rookie year. Nobody's talking about it, right? Let me tell you something real quick, okay? Let me school people here. If this happened with one of their like if a PWBA bowler that was, that one of their marketable, like, I don't know, whoever it is, like won 3 titles, shit would be everywhere, right? I kind of feel like Stephanie Zavala, as a rookie winning 3 PWBA events, needs to be spoken about more right now today because of what she did. That's amazing what she just did. In my opinion, she was going to be Bowl of the Year prior, right? She was already in the running for it. The 3rd title's got to get her locked up, no, for PWBA, like Bowl of the Year.
I think Dasha Kovalova has a somewhat of a claim.
Maybe, but I think Zavala kind of locked it up. I think they're definitely. I don't want to say. I don't want to speculate on why I don't think they're marketing Stephanie more than they should. But look, she's here to stay, bro. She's not going anywhere. She's gonna win a lot more titles. She's completely like just right now running over the PWBA tour. Honestly, like as somebody who's new on tour, this is really impressive to me. So shout outs to you, Stephanie. You were my favorite when they asked me on Bowling with the Fef on my interview who the favorite to win Bowl of the Year was. And I took Stephanie because, of just how good she's been bowling, and to win another one is amazing. So congrats, seriously.
Yeah, people in the chat are reminding us that the PWBA Player of the Year is by points. So right now, Verity Crawley is the points leader there.
I don't give a shit. She's Player of the Year in my eyes, Mike.
We're giving our own award. Is that what you're saying?
Sweep the Rack PWBA Bowl of the Year, Stephanie Zavala. I don't care.
I gotta say this because I've watched this young lady bowl quite a bit now, and no one take this the wrong way, okay? I'm not knocking the young lady. All right,
here we go.
But like, when I watch her versus some of the other female bowlers out there and their games, right? I would not pick her to be the one winning.
I mean, that's obvious. She doesn't throw the ball as good as like Daria does, or like
but let me say this: like, I don't think I've ever seen somebody get so much ball reaction from such a what seems like a very effortless release. Did you see the way she was playing them? Like she was hooking it.
You know who has that same type of like style to me, who, seems like they're kind of doing an effortless kind of hook, is like EJ Tackett. Like EJ Tackett.
No, that's terrible. Effortless? No,
you're right.
EJ Tackett looks like he's like whacking on it as hard as he can.
You're right. I'm thinking somebody who has like got a soft.
I'm
trying to compare it to somebody, but you're right.
It's rev rate too, though. It's rev rate too, though. Like I think guys are tough comparisons because a lot of guys have. I'll give you one. Jake Peters.
No, I don't like that comparison.
Now to me, he's somebody who
definitely hooks the board than Jake Peters.
I know, but again, Jake Peters to me is somebody who, when I watch him bowl, I think, wow, he gets way more reaction out of the ball than I would imagine he should for the way he throws it. Like, again, if you showed me just them throwing the ball with no ball going down the lane and asked me to draw how's this ball going to react, I'd be like, oh, no, there ain't going to be much reaction here. They're going to be playing pretty straight.
How about someone like Ronnie Russell? Would Ronnie Russell be a fair comparison?
But so much rev rate.
Yeah.
Right? So much rev rate. I mean, he's got a ton of rev rate. So
anyway, congrats to Stephanie. Like,
we'll keep crushing it. I mean, whatever she's doing, keep doing it.
The PWBA is, I think, back this actually. They're bowling again.
They're bowling right now. They're bowling right now. Yeah. It's the Pepsi Open, I think. Pepsi Classic is this weekend.
Pepsi Classic, yeah. So good to see the PWA have a seems to be a better tour than the men these days. You seem to be bowling more than the men are.
Rob, we got to reach out. We got to reach out, and make some things happen there.
Oh, who's Stephanie?
No, well, with the PWBA ladies in general, I think. I would like to.
Andrew Anderson's a good comparison, I think, to Stephanie. Like just throwing it out there.
Nah, again, so much rev rate. Tell me somebody who's got a rev rate similar to Stephanie Zavala.
No, I'm just trying to think the style.
That gets that kind of reaction.
Yeah, don't forget they're live on TV Sunday at 5.
Okay.
Is that Nico? Is that 5 p.m. Eastern, Central, West Coast? What are we talking here? Nico, we already had Kelly Kulik on. You could go check the archives.
Yeah, we did.
We had a good interview with Kelly.
Great interview, by the way.
So let's talk PBA schedule, Mike, because we did our own schedules, and the PBA finally released their schedule.
Yeah.
And I know there's been a little bit of a chatter about the schedule. I'm not against it, right? Like I kind of feel like the schedule actually isn't terrible. But I think you talked a little bit on Bowling with the FEF yesterday, or is it Monday?
Monday, yeah.
About waiting to see what the money looks like. Like is the PBA going to start the league, right? Or the league, they're going to start their 2022 guaranteed PBA tour schedule with a $250K PBA Players Championship prize. Personally, I think they are, just because why wouldn't they? It's the same format that they did, previous. What they're doing, the East, South, Midwest, Southwest, West region finals on January 23rd and 4th, and then the PBA Players Championship finals is live. Here's the thing, though, Mike. I don't think. Did they do this? They might. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember. My memory's terrible. The region finals are all going to be live on FS1. Did they do that last year?
No. Some of them were taped. Some of them were live, but some of them were taped.
So, yeah. So they're going to be going live literally from what the PBAtour.com says. Is they're going live on FS1 for every region finals.
No, that's good.
All
right, I want to read a thread of tweets by Tom Clark today. Some people in the chat are referring to some of the things that were in these tweets. So I'm going to read you these tweets, and then I'm going to give you some of my thoughts from what I gathered from what he said. Right.
100K, Mike. That's what Nico's saying. I trust that.
Yeah, they did. They knocked it down. They did. They knocked it down to 100K. Right. You're going to hear that in the tweets. Here's one of the things I'm asking. Where'd the other 150,000 go? Was that just a one-time thing? Was it a one-time thing that we did a $250,000 tournament and that's it?
Maybe once in PBA
if that's the case, because they had and I got to say, Rob, I heard rumblings. I heard rumblings when they announced that $250,000 tournament last year, that the reason that they had such a big first place prize for that tournament was because there were funds left over from other events that they were not able to run while COVID was at its height. So a little bit disappointing to see that. Bit disappointing to see that with the, if they're not, if they had what I'm saying is disappointing is if they had a $250,000 event last year, clearly we see the Players isn't going to be $250 this year. And is there going to be any $250,000 event, or was that a one-time thing that's going away? Because honestly, I think, that's an important part of regaining people's attention on bowling as a sport on TV is guys bowling for bigger prize funds. But all right, let me read these tweets by Tom Clark here. 2022 guaranteed rate PBA Tour, which starts in January. Here's just a few things I like about the 13 events leading up to the PBA playoffs. 6 of the events have a $100,000 first place prize. PBA Players Championship, US Open, which isn't necessarily a PBA event, PBA Tournament of Champions, PBA World Championship, USBC Masters, again, same thing, PBA playoffs. And all Tier 1 and Tier 2 events have a 1-to-3 prize fund payout ratio. No squad equity issues, as no tournaments conducted by the PBA will have multiple squads. I found that to be very interesting. That's a topic that's come up a few times over the last couple of years. And there are varying competition formats used throughout the season, from round robin match play to eliminators to elimination match play. All qualifying and match play rounds for every event leading up to the PBA playoffs will be streamed live on Flow Bowling. All events conducted by the PBA will reserve spots in the main fields for advancers from the pre-tournament qualifiers, which means no PBA members will be shut out of competing. Every championship round leading up to the PBA playoffs will use the classic stepladders finals format. 9 of those finals will be live on Fox Sports with action on Fox Bet. 4 will be live on Flow. Among special venues in play, our signature event, PBA Tournament of Champions, returns to historic AMF Rivera Bowl in Fair Lawn, Ohio, and the U.S. Open is back at storied Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis. That's where Bill wanted to. The PBA Players Championship will use 2 oil patterns, Chameleon 39 and Dragon 45, including dual patterns for the regional and championship finals, which means 6 TV shows will feature different patterns on each lane. Before we get to the playoffs, there are 13 different oil patterns of varying lengths and challenges during official rounds. Cheetah, Viper, Chameleon, Bear, Scorpion, Dragon, Shark, Webb, Holman, Johnson, Roth, Anthony, Salvino. With action taking place in 14 different U.S. cities, defending playoff champ Kyle Truk will lead an exciting field of players, blah, 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 and the fans will be back, is the last thing he said there. So I go through all that. Rob, anything that stuck out to you?
I definitely like the squad equity. I think we talked to numerous players about that, and I feel like that's something that the players have been asking for a while, because bowling personally in some tournaments, if you're on a wrong squad, you kind of get the shaft of it. How many times have we seen a top 16 where 13 or 14 of the bowlers have been from like A squad or whatever it is, and maybe one bowler from C squad, just using it as an example. I think that's interesting. I honestly, though, I liked what he had to say. Like, it sounded like promising. They're giving, what do you say? How many tournaments with $100,000?
6.
Dude, that's a pretty decent amount of tournaments, paying $100,000 for what we're used to with the PBA. So I don't really have any problems. 14 different cities, 9 live shows, 4 full. I mean, dude, like, not like seeing those tweets and just hearing about it. I kind of think that's not a bad like string of like tweets, and I'm excited about the 2022 schedule and in the PBA, to be honest with you. And we're the first to give them a hard time, and I feel like we're doing okay right now.
I'd like to see a $250,000 event.
The playoffs, like the last season, the last event.
Okay, love that they're already talking about betting and 9 of the shows being available on Fox Bet. Let's get behind that, bowling community. Let's get behind that PBA. Let's get the PBA brass like Tom Clark out there on some non-bowling content media talking about betting on bowling. Let's try and educate the people. Let's try and promote the fact that you'll be able to bet on bowling. Let's work with Fox Bet so that we can get some odds on betting on guys to win or make the stepladder in a tournament, rather than only being able to bet on the stepladder. Right? Let's try and expand that a little bit this year. Let's do a better job with that. That has me a bit excited. I don't know about my excitement over there being, shows that aren't going to be on national TV or going to be on Flow only. Rob, we've talked a lot about it. I mean, the quality of what Flow has been doing has been decreasing steadily now for some time. So I don't know. Maybe it's an opportunity for them to pick it up and rededicate themselves to what they were doing there. Or, perhaps this is the nail in the coffin in terms of Flow's involvement in the PBA as a broadcast partner in that way. So we'll see that as well. But yeah, I like the school too. I don't have any major problems with it. I don't have any major issues. I agree with I think it was Sherry in the chat and I've said this many times before, that in fact my schedule was kind of set up around this idea that they need a constant night, they need a constant day or night that they own, and we need to provide that consistency if we can. But listen, I'll take it where I can get it right now. I also want to see where the playoffs are going to be.
Yeah, where's
I have
Tyler
a challenge. I have a challenge to the PBA, and I said this on Bowling with the Fef too. And if you guys aren't familiar, I'll just go on a little diversion here. Bowling with the Fef is another bowling content-related podcast. Check them out. Rob was on there. I was on there this past Monday. He does great interviews. He's the Nardwar of the bowling game. If you don't know who Nardwar is, look that up on YouTube. I don't have time to explain it to you. But I talked about this on Bowling with the Fef on Monday in terms of, challenging the PBA to bring the playoffs to Carolier. Jersey, the New Jersey area will show you that we can give the same kind of hype environment that Bayside can. Obviously, be in a different way, but yeah, I think we can definitely do it. So I'd love to see that, Rob. If that happens, Rob, I expect you to fly out, and I expect a tailgate, a Sweep the Rack tailgate. Sweep the Rack, Beef and Barnsey sponsored tailgate. It's what I need if the PBA brings the playoffs to Carolier.
Dude, that'd be awesome. I think that might be like, I'm pretty sure they tailgated at Bayside a few times, but our tailgate would crush Bayside but yeah, man, that would be cool. Let's see. Oh, Christian Kona. Hi guys, I go to the playoff at Carolier at this time if I do get picked as y'all's favorite. Yo, man, I'm sure Christian's excited about the PBA schedule, man. Like he's coming in.
Christian, nice bowling at the recent world competition. By the way, he won a couple medals there, so nice bowling there. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of PBA players are happy about the schedule. Rob, I'm
happy they announced it. At least they gave they didn't wait till December to announce it to go to January. I feel like they're able to get their feet on their ground because COVID last year and all that shit happened. And so yeah, man, look, man, like you said, we'll take it when we can get it. They're going to be betting. I feel like when it comes to flow, and I know you made that point about flow losing quality, I feel like if Bolero wants to move on, because the quality, I feel like it's going to take them a while to get something new set up. So I'm like, this is just speculation, okay? But we've been hinting towards that for a while, just based on the quality. But we'll see what happens, man. I hope Flow could put it together this year. I feel like this is a make or break year for Flow, honestly. I feel like they have a schedule out. I feel like they could start putting out some new content, some new off the lanes content that they were doing for a while. And let's, hopefully they could, get their shit together this year and give us some more bowling content because of this big schedule that the PBA has.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, Nico in the chat saying, I still remember when Bill made the U.S. Open and we went crazy for him. That was at Carolier, Nico. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if you guys have never seen that show, it's a tough show to find on YouTube, but it is on there. It's a 2-part show where they did a show on Saturday night and then they did a show the full step ladder on Sunday. And Bill bowls Dan McClellan first, and then he loses to Ryan Schaefer. But if you get a chance to go watch the opening of that show, and you're going to tell me that that's not one of the hypest introductions to a PBA show ever, yeah, I gotta strongly disagree with you there. So I think that Jersey can bring it. So like I said, I would love to see the PBA make that move. All right,
hey, Sherry, wait, Bowl TV has a better quality than Flow. I don't think that's a secret. I feel like anybody who watches Bowl TV and watches Flow kind of understands that. I've always,
which is crazy, and it's crazy because like Flow was already well into the game when Bowl TV even like jumped into it, right? So yeah, it's crazy to see that the tables have kind of been turned there.
Yeah.
All right, Rob. People know what time it is.
Oh, I thought we weren't doing the skit anymore because we got banned from the gift that keeps on giving. But guess what, baby? Guess what? We still coming out worst of the week. Doesn't matter. Ban us 3-4 times, Tim Buck. We're still coming at you, buddy. We got it.
All right, Rob. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'm going to go first here because this post isn't a worst of the week based on the post. it's a worst of the week based on what happened during this league night. Okay, so you got to listen to this. Okay,
I have a great story to follow this up with too. Go ahead.
So Eric Lee Jr. on the USBC Discussion Forum put up a post of a literal, and you know what? I wish I got to get this picture up because the worst of the week, it definitely doesn't do us justice here because you guys got to see this picture. So you know what, Mike? I'm going to let you do it while I email myself this picture, and then I'm going to come back, all right?
Okay.
It's too good. You guys got to see this picture. It's too funny.
You guys know where I'm going. You guys know where I'm going. I'm going with the GOAT. In honor of all of us being banned this week and Tim Buck banning everybody and going on a banning spree, I'm going with the GOAT. And Tim Buck, I want you to personally know that you can ban as many people as you want. We will always have access to the USBC Bowlers Discussion Forum. And the only reason we needed access to it was to get our material for Worst of the Week. So it's fine with us. Tim Buck, admin, for several reasons. The subject, this is a response to someone complaining about a post being taken down. Sorry, I should have put that context out there. Admin, for several reasons. The subject been beat to death. People can't be nice and start attacking people and or name calling. There are word filters we have set up, and Facebook has word filters and phrase filters. We hopefully catch thing before Facebook. Facebook issue can cause issue for people personal account and for the group. Too many Facebook violation in a group can get them shut down. Follow the rule under announcement, and there are usually no issues. Still at it.
Congrats, Tim. Congrats.
Tim, you're the GOAT.
You're the GOAT.
You're the GOAT of Worst of the Week. You're the Tom Brady of Worst of the Week, Tim. No. Forget that. You're the Michael Jordan of Worst of... No. Forget that. You're the Muhammad Ali of Worst of the Week, Tim Buck.
Yo, he's the greatest.
Okay?
He's the greatest.
You are the Muhammad Ali of Worst of the Week.
Congrats, Tim. You're the man, brother. What can I say? We bow down to you, Tim. You're the man. Keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
Also, want to say, Rob, we talked about merch earlier. My man Jeff Lindenmuth letting the people know in the chat. People, Worst of the Week rosin bags. Worst of the Week rosin bags coming your way. If you want one, hit us up. We are charging for them this time. Not giving away. We are charging for them. But if you want one, hit us up. Worst of the Week rosin bags.
All right, so here's my post, okay? Mike hasn't seen this, okay? So this is too funny. So Eric Lee Jr. writes, every Friday night, our league has to deal with parties on the next lane to us. But look, I got to zoom in because it's just too good. After the league starts and ends, this should be deemed illegal and all fun bowlers should be off the lane for oiling and league play to start, right? Eric, you did not win Worst of the Week, okay? Your bowling center won Worst of the Week, okay? Because wait, I gotta try to zoom in on this.
Bunch of retired people like Steve Stumpo in the chat talking about my bowling. Like I said, Stump, anytime you want to break the gear out, I'm at Nob Hill every other Friday. Come bowl me for whatever.
Mike, what would you do if you were bowling league and that was on the lane next to you?
I'd leave.
Dude,
I'd leave. Honestly, I wouldn't put up with that.
Okay, so for the people that are listening, okay,
there's basically a group of about a dozen women, all spread out on the pair lanes.
On the actual lane.
Yeah, like on the actual lane. Like they are standing from the back of the ball return all the way up to the foul line, about a dozen of them on a pair, right? Some on the left-hand side, some on the right-hand lane. And, yeah, you see a league bowler, like, walking back off the approach and this massive group of people behind her on the lane. So, yeah, I personally, I would leave. I wouldn't put up with this.
No. Anyway, Mike, I thought that was a good Worst of the Week because, Eric, you did not win Worst of the Week, okay? I don't blame you. If that was me, I would have
So who wins Worst of the Week there?
Oh, the bowling center, the manager of the bowling center, who obviously has no clue what the fuck they're doing. They're just trying to make money because they have league lanes that aren't being used and they want to put open bowling or book a party. Okay. That's the reason why you pay to bowl a league, Mike. You pay to bowl against other people and not have to deal with the bullshit of open bowling next to you. Okay. Any league I've ever been a part of and you've been a part of in my whole history of my life and career, I have never, or maybe once, had to deal with something like that, but that's bullshit. The bowling center should be fucking ashamed of themselves. The manager should quit. The owner should even fucking sell the bowling alley, dude. That's so ridiculous. I'm pissed for that, Eric. You want a bowl league and you have to bowl next to that? It's fucking bullshit, dude. Anyway.
Hit him with it. Don't you want a rosin bag with that logo on it? I mean, think about it. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And let me say, Robert Hamilton, our guy, one of our most dedicated fans, Robert Hamilton, used a Sweep the Rack rosin bag at a tournament recently and happily emailed us to let us know that he won the tournament. So invest a little money in a Sweep the Rack rosin bag, and it's going to you probably several times over.
Word on the street is it's the best rosin bag ever made.
Who knew all this time that all you needed to be a great bowler was a really great rosin bag?
Yeah, according to a lot of the posts that I've seen online of people with the rosin bags, they are claiming that it is the best rosin bag that they've ever held in their hand. So, hey,
real talk. Real talk. All right, Rob. Final thoughts?
Yeah. If you haven't had a chance to watch Big Mike's interview last night on Bowling with the Fef, I happen to, even though sponsored, we're not. No, there'll be no free rosin.
People are asking for free rosin bag sponsorship in the chat. Get out of here, you patch pirate.
Anyway, if you haven't had a chance to watch Big Mike's interview on Bowling with the Fef or my interview with Bowling with the Fef, honestly, for two guys that aren't really on the top level of bowlers, right, or bowling, it was an honor to be interviewed online on a bowling show based on our bowling career, our bowling lives. Me and Mike started out very similar, right, as juniors, as younger kids, as bowlers, and kind of went completely different directions. I stayed in the competitive side of the game. Mike went on the coaching side of the game. I always wondered what it would be like if I was a coach or a bowling coach. I wouldn't be probably like Big Mike as a bowling coach. I kind of feel like Big Mike would as a high school New Jersey bowling coach, I kind of would compare him probably to John Goodman's character on Revenge of the Nerds when he was the coach of Alpha Beta. I kind of feel like if that was a person who was going to play Big Mike in a movie, it probably would have been John Goodman. But
no, 100%. If someone was going to play me in a movie, it would be what's his name? Kevin.
John Goodman.
Kevin. No, Kevin.
From what? The Office?
Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Oh, why?
What's his name? What's his name?
Kevin James.
Kevin James. That's who would play me. Yeah.
No, Kevin James has zero intensity, dude. John Goodman is the epitome of intensity, dude. Anyway, if you ever want to, if I would recommend going to watch our interviews because it goes into depth on our bowling careers and our bowling lives and what we've done in the sport and the industry, and it was awesome. And I think we need to have Fef on as our guest so we could ask him questions.
Yeah, Fef. When you watch this, hit us up.
I think it would be cool to have him on.
It's time for us. Yeah, it's time for us to dig up some dirt on you and ask you some questions, my man.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my final thought, man. Check out Big Mike's interview. It was great.
I was going to give the same final thought. You stole it from me. But
here's the thing: is we got the same final thought. But I know you pretty well, and I didn't realize your history with the coaching aspect of it and exactly what you did with your program and how you started it. I'm not going to go on the record and say that you're still the GOAT of high school Jersey bowling because I'll never give you that credit. but like your high school career was awesome to listen to, and how you started that like bowling program and how hard that is to do and to win that quickly. And when you started, it was awesome. So, man, kudos to you, Big Mike. Seriously.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, we joke around here, and I joke around a lot because, believe me, I understand that in the pantheon of sports, high school bowling is like, I understand. I'm going
to New York City high school bowling, so
I'm totally self-aware of where that puts me. But no, I mean, listen, we did accomplish some pretty cool things, and it was awesome to get to go on Fef's podcast and talk about it. It's not something that I get to talk a lot about. So it was awesome to be able to do that. He does a great job, and shout to him for having us both on. And, we're, the cross promotion, it's more of what we need, So shout to him. Rob, I might bowl this weekend. I might not. I don't know, man. My confidence is so piss poor.
Come on, here's them together.
Here's what I'm going to try and do. Here's what I'm going to try and do.
If your student told you that, what would you tell them?
No, listen, I'll be honest. When I coached, I had kids that went through slumps and needed a break, because their confidence was a little bit shot. Like we had a practice pair. We had a practice pair at all of our matches, right? So there'd be like the pairs that the match was taking place on, and then you would get a pair that guys could go and practice, girls could go and practice, or just warm up. And I used to tell some of the guys who were really struggling mentally, like, go down to the practice pair for the day, work it out. Spend the day down there and kind of get your mind right, get your game right, get your confidence back up. So, yeah, my confidence is not real good right now. But here's the thing. I text Greg Tack because he's running one of the events that I might bowl this weekend. And I told him, I said, even when I'm bowling bad, I'll still come bowl events. Like, I enjoy bowling. Like, getting out and going and bowling a tournament to me is – it's like golf. It's like going to golf for other guys. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of people out there every weekend that go and golf like shit, but they have a good time and they enjoy themselves. I usually stop and I grab a bite to eat and I see some people that I know and whatnot. Shout to Ernest Lukacs, local Jersey guy who I see from time to time at some of these events. I saw his name on a couple of them this weekend, so I'm sure he'll be bowling. And yeah, they'll definitely be a test of your ability. My progress is not that good right now. Ernie, my progress is not that good at all. So that's what I was just saying. I'm not sure that my confidence level is up to where I need it to go and bowl some of these events. But at the same time, the events are kind of cheap. It's not like it's cost an arm and a leg to
look.
Stop
to bowl
being. So
look, like if you will bowl. If you're not motivated to bowl, then don't bowl. Like I took off bowling for a few months because I haven't been motivated. I'm not going to do something I don't want to do, or I feel like I'm forced to do it. I don't want to do it. When I'm ready to go and ready to strap them on again, I'll do it. But until then, your mind's got to do it.
I just want to throw it better. Damn it.
Well,
anyway. the struggle continues. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go practice tomorrow. I'm going to go to the pro shop. I'm going to get my equipment in better order as we discussed, and I'm going to see how I feel after I practice tomorrow and see what's good. I might try and get some patterns put out tomorrow night, just see if I can get some extra practice in, but. We'll see. Listen, we appreciate everybody watching. It's always good to talk to everybody, etc. Hit us up on Twitter. I'm at the 215. He's at BrooklynRob11. Hit us up in the email, sweeptherack@gmail. We love getting the emails. Rob, we actually just had somebody who was watching email us about buying a rosin bag, so we already sold one. Get them while they're hot because they ain't gonna last long.
Limited edition.
Limited edition. Rosin bags, limited edition.
The best ever.
The week rosin bags. Get them while they're hot, okay?
The best ever. I've seen already 5 rosin bag reviews.
5-star. 5-star
best
rosin bag reviews, okay?
And look out for some merch.
Get with us.
Some merch.
All right, guys. Seriously, have a great week, and we'll talk to everybody.
Right.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.